Hello, this is Cheryl Cuthrell, the Anderson County GOP Chair. And this morning I have with me Van James, who is running for County Treasurer. How are you this morning, Van?
Doing well, Cheryl. How are you?
I'm great. And what is your main reason for seeking this position?
Well, Cheryl, I just feel like that the people of Anderson County deserve someone who is accessible, which therefore would make them accountable. And I think that the way that Chad McBride has done this, I think is a great way. He's out there in the public, people know him, everything like that. I want to be somebody that people know. Everybody knows the treasurer's office. In my dealings with people during all this, there are not a lot of people that know the treasurer.
Okay, and I understand you serve now as the County Soil and Water Council. Is that, I did say that right?
I'm a commissioner with the Soil and Water Commission. I was elected in 2006 on a write-in campaign, and I was in 2019. I was changed from an elected position to a
Appointed.
appointed position. And because of changeover in the Soil and Water Commission, we have had 3 people who have passed away or moved on, and I became the appointed position at that point.
Of the, I know we want to be sure, as the Republican Party wants to be sure our representatives all adhere to the platform of the Republican Party. If you could give me a couple of statements on that, on which part of the Republican platform is most important to you.
Well, I believe in the baby's right to live. I think that it's very clear that the baby is alive from the moment of conception, not when he's birthed. And I feel like that is very important. So that is one thing. And also the fact of taxation. I don't want people being taxed just to be taxed. There's need for government, but at the same time, there is not a need for everybody being taxed for everything and people not being taxed for because of other reasons.
Good. Now, you want to share with us any endorsements that you have received?
Well, some of my endorsements include the former treasurer, Nancy Mackey, who was in office prior to the current treasurer, and also Bill Biggs, who is the owner of HMR Veteran Services. He is one of my supporters, along with Hayward Hilliard, who is the COO of HMR and HMR as a company, as well as John Holmes, the owner and operator of the 3 Chick-fil-A's in Anderson. They are some of my biggest supporters, whether it's in this campaign or life. So they've been very instrumental, especially John, in my life.
So what do you think are a couple of the main things that you would see wrong or not happening in the treasurer's office that you feel needs to be changed?
The biggest thing is accessibility. Yes, the office, as I said earlier, is accessible to people. However, as I said, there are not a lot of people who actually know the treasurer. I've talked to some people that remembered Miss Mackey, but didn't remember who the current treasurer is. I've talked to people, and I feel like that's a position that needs to be in the public eye in a good way. You know, you always see the public eye when something goes wrong, and there hasn't been anything like that. But to be in the public eye for everyone is something that I want to do. I want to look at maybe trying to be at more events for the people so that people know, hey, this isn't just where I pay my taxes. This is the person that is available to me when I need something.
You know, I do believe that is one of the problems that the Anderson County Republican Party has, that a lot of our representatives don't come and sit in our meetings or are not as accessible in those meetings as they would like. So that's just a sidebar that I probably should have put somewhere else, sorry. I want to give you a couple of minutes to just give us a little stump and tell us a little bit about how you're running, what you're running, and how to get in touch with you if they'd like to help support you.
All right. Thank you, Cheryl, for this opportunity. And yes, I am running on being a good steward for the Anderson County taxpayers and the Anderson County residents so that we can make this county a better place. I've lived here my whole life, except for 3 years that I was at Lander University. And I love this city, this county. There's nowhere else I'd rather live. I've, like I said, born and raised here. I've been involved in the community, whether it's, I was basketball coach for over 15 years at the high school level, down to coaching for my church's 6 and under basketball team. I'm a deacon at the church. I want to help people. That's what I want to do. I want to help people help themselves. I don't want to just give them a handout. I want to help them help themselves, and therefore be there for them with being accessible, which in turn would make me accountable, because if I'm there and you can get to me, if you don't like what's going on, you can tell me at that point, and I've got to stand up to that at that point.
And I think there was one other thing we discussed earlier that I think you wanted to touch base on was your voting record.
Yes, ma'am. I'm a Republican through and through. I've voted in every election since 1998. And even if there is only a Democrat running, I've always wrote someone in as opposed to voting for a Democrat at that point. And all my endorsements are very strong Republican people, and my opponent can't say that. So one of his endorsements is the former Democrat clerk of court.
Well, I appreciate your time this morning, and just want to be sure there's not anything else that you want to get out to everyone. And we'll have these on our Facebook and website and send out in the mail if there's anything else you needed to cover before we end the video.
Yes, ma'am. I'd like to talk about, I've got my website, which is voteforvanjames.com. You can see ways that you can help me, whether it's donation, whether it's a signed submission, whether it's just wanting a question answered or whatever, as well as my email, which is voteforvanjames@gmail.com. And also look forward to the stump meeting on Saturday. This was being recorded on Thursday. I don't know when this is coming out. So, but I look forward to that, and as well the meeting in Powdersville on Monday.
Great. I appreciate your time, and you sticking your neck out to run for a position. We always need people running, and I appreciate that. And we will see you later. And thanks. And everybody remember that there is a primary on June 9th, and absentee voting is available now. Thank you so much. Thanks, Dan.
Thank you.
All right. Bye-bye.